In California, we go to great efforts to control harmful emissions and improve our air quality. Many of us have seen smoking vehicles on our roadways. Smoke contains particulate matter. Particulate matter is a component of vehicle exhaust that California's existing smog check equipment cannot directly measure. That's why Assembly Bill 1870 was approved by the governor in September 2006 to require that a test for visible smoke be incorporated into each vehicle's smog check inspection. This new visible smoke test begins March 2008. It applies to all motor vehicles subject to the smog check program. Visible smoke is typically the result of incomplete combustion, a worn engine burning oil, a faulty PCV system, or excessive engine blow-by. In most cases, incomplete combustion results in black or gray smoke, while burning oil produces blue or bluish-white smoke. Oil in the exhaust results in catalyst poisoning and rapid deterioration of the vehicle's catalytic converter. For vehicles equipped with computer controls, any oil that gets into the combustion chamber will cause premature deterioration of the oxygen sensor. Fine particulates from burning engine oil are also especially toxic and can cause lung problems, heart disease, and other health consequences. The visible smoke test includes two parts: a test for smoke from both the vehicle's tailpipe and PCV. Visual smoke observed from either location will cause a vehicle to fail the visual portion of a smog check. Now let's view how the visible smoke test will be performed. The test for visible tailpipe smoke shall be performed immediately following the emissions portion of the smog check inspection. The engine shall be at idle. Upon completing the emissions test, remove the exhaust probe from the tailpipe. With an unobstructed view, observe the tailpipe area for at least 10 seconds. If any smoke is observed, the vehicle shall fail the test. In this example, this vehicle actually failed the smoke test. Be aware that water vapor or steam is not smoke and therefore does not cause a vehicle to fail the test. The test for visible smoke from the PCV system shall be performed during the underhood portion of the visible fuel leak test. With the vehicle's engine running at idle, observe the PCV system for at least 10 seconds. If smoke is observed, the vehicle shall fail the test. After completing the visible smoke test, enter the results into the EIS under the Other Emission-Related Controls category of the visual inspection. Enter P for pass, or F if the vehicle fails. Technicians will need to pay special attention to situations where the vehicle fails the visual inspection for other emission-related component reasons. That's because the Other Emission-Related Controls category on the EIS also is designed to cover components that are not specifically identified in the visual inspection menu. If a vehicle passes the visible smoke test, but fails the visual inspection of an emission-related component covered under the Other category, the vehicle fails the visual inspection. For example, if a vehicle had an illegal turbocharger installed, the vehicle would fail due to tampering. In this example, the tamper entry supersedes the visible smoke test entry. If the vehicle fails the visible smoke test, document the failure by writing or stamping on both the invoice and the Vehicle Inspection Report, the VIR, either of the following phrases: failed for visible smoke or failed visible smoke test. Document the specific failure, tailpipe or PCV system, on the invoice that is given to the customer. Give the customer a copy of the visible smoke test failure consumer information sheet and check the appropriate box to indicate whether the vehicle failed the test at the tailpipe or the crankcase. Check both boxes if it failed at both locations. This document is available on the Bureau of Automotive Repair's website at www.smogcheck.ca.gov. Consumers whose vehicle failed the visible smoke test have the following options. 1. have the vehicle repaired at a licensed smog check station. Or 2. Apply for either repair assistance or vehicle retirement under BAR's Consumer Assistance Program. Or 3. Schedule an appointment for a verification test at a referee facility by calling 800-622-7733. Consumers interested in applying for the Consumer Assistance Program should visit BAR's website at www.smogcheck.ca.gov or call 800-952-5210. In summary, beginning March 2008, a visible smoke test must be performed as part of every smog check inspection. The visible smoke test at the tailpipe shall be performed immediately following the emissions test. The test for smoke from the PCV system shall be performed during the underhood portion of the liquid fuel leak test. The tailpipe and PCV system should each be observed for at least 10 seconds while the engine runs at idle. Smoke observed from either or both locations will cause the vehicle to fail the visual inspection. Enter the results into the EIS. For vehicles that fail the test, the technician shall enter the results on the invoice, VIR, and the visible smoke failure sheet and provide a copy of each to the customer. In closing, the State of California and the Department of Consumer Affairs Bureau of Automotive Repair would like to thank you for doing your part to help clean our air.